Alright, what is up, party people? My name is Christian, and my whole goal with this vlog is to shine light on how we can become better physically and mentally. So, a lot of this vlog will be me at the gym, doing my workouts, and things of that nature. But a lot of the vlog is also going to be what I'm interested in learning. So it could be anything from meditation to what kind of supplement I like to take. Sky's the limit. But for a lot of what I'm aiming to do with this podcast, or call it a podcast, but it's more of a vlog, day in the life type stuff. The main aim of it is to have people fall in love with living their life the healthiest they can live it. So I hope a lot of what I talk about and what I go through resonates with you. And that's about it. But let's kick off the very first vlog. So today I am especially interested in the fat loss and muscle building effects of transcendental meditation. And for those who aren't familiar with transcendental meditation, it's a type of meditation that essentially uses one mantra, and this mantra is kind of a nonsense word. So it's essentially this, it could be any word that is not associated with any society or culture, nothing. So a good mantra that I've been using is Shiring. So it's Shiring, Shiring. And this is a pretty standard one that they'll use in traditional transcendental meditation. It is a nonsense word, and I know it can be misleading because it could be associated with shearing or anything else of that nature, because shear, SHEAR, fairly certain is a word, and so it could get mixed up with that. But for these purposes, the way that I've perceived it to be pronounced is Shiring. So you're essentially using one mantra anytime that a thought, feeling, or perception arises. And you just continuously do this over and over and over again. And the key is to be completely open, to have no expectations, and to keep coming back to the mantra no matter what. So I pulled up good old-fashioned ChatGPT, and I wanted to go through a little bit of the peer-reviewed research behind a lot of these claims for fat loss, muscle building, and the indirect effects that transcendental meditation could have. So first one is for fat loss. So transcendental meditation itself will not trigger fat loss, but what it can do is balance out your cortisol with your other hormones like your estrogen and your testosterone. So since it's potentially lowering your cortisol, or at least just balancing it out with these other hormones, it can make sure that you're not going to have as much fat storage in your abdominals especially, but overall fat storage around the body, because cortisol is the stress hormone, and whenever your body needs more energy to feed this stress, it's going to naturally put on this fat. And so that's the main thing behind fat loss as far as transcendental meditation is involved. It can lead to that. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. Granted that your diet's on point, your training's on point, sleep, everything else that's involved with losing fat, those also need to be carefully pieced into the same puzzle. So now, muscle building. Muscle building is a little bit of the same. So it says here that it can indirectly support your recovery and improve hormonal balance. So like I was saying earlier, estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol, as long as they're balanced with each other, they're going to work in harmony to build the muscle that you're breaking down in those training sessions. So that'll potentially aid to muscle gain. And I think the best evidence that it brought up is, if you want to look it up, it's McLean et al. In 1997, where TM practitioners report better quality sleep. So on top of all of this, transcendental meditation can lead to a lot higher quality sleep, which we all know contributes to more muscle building. So these are the biggest effects that I see transcendental meditation having when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to muscle gain. But now the question is, how do we do this? How do we go about transcendental meditation on a daily basis? So all of these studies say that 20 minutes in the morning, as soon as you wake up. So whether you're going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, you can do those things, but try to get it in as early in the morning as possible. And then later in the day, preferably it'd be right before dinner time, so to speak. So like right around like 4 or 5 p.m. That's gold standard. That's really what we're going for, is that evening time, not right before sleep, because transcendental meditation can have these really, really invigorating effects. It can leave you just feeling jazzed right after. And so doing it right before sleep probably isn't the best thing. Now, you would do, a lot of these studies are pointing to, they were testing these subjects at 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. But there is a lot of evidence pointing to a lot of the really, really beneficial effects, and they were testing these on a much younger population, like around ages 12 to 18, like around that age. With these populations, 12 minutes was sufficient for a lot of these same effects. So 12 minutes in the morning, 12 minutes in the evening. So if you're not ready to start with 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, 12 minutes is a great option for anyone who's interested in getting into this form of meditation. But the main thing is stay consistent no matter what. So even if that's 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, it doesn't matter. There's so many benefits to this practice that not only lead to fat loss and muscle building, but they'll increase your mood, they'll manage your stress, they'll ensure that you're getting higher quality sleep. You can look into this, and I mean the benefits are off the charts. I mean, I even saw there was this one study that pointed to, or I shouldn't say this one study, but they found that transcendental meditation can actually lead to even deeper sleep, or even deeper rest than the deepest parts of rest in sleep. So I thought that was kind of interesting. You're still awake, but you're getting these deep states of rest while you're awake, even deeper than the deepest rest that you get in sleep. So pretty interesting there. But I guess that concludes what I'm really interested in learning recently, and I'm glad you're part of my journey. a few things. I've been practicing this form of meditation for a few weeks now, and I felt a lot calmer, a lot more concentrated, and everything just seems more fun. I'm not bogged down by a lot of swirling thoughts, and I've had a history of, just anxiety and all these different stress-induced situations where I just overthink and I get into a lot of these different thought patterns that are just, they're not allowing me to perform at my best. And this meditation has been a game changer so far. So a few things I would say to look out for, and I've noticed in my own meditation practice, is if there was a point where I was trying to get into this certain state that I had gotten into when I first started to practice. So I got into this flow and everything felt amazing, and just euphoria and all these different, just this really profound state of joy I was just in all the time. But I started to get addicted to that feeling. I started to, anytime I wasn't feeling that after that period of time, I started to get angry, I started to get frustrated, I started to have all these different emotions that were just not, they weren't allowing me to get back into that state. And the goal of this isn't to get into one state. The goal of this is to open yourself up to the present moment, because everything is happening right now. And if you're fixated on one feeling that you had at one time, you're stuck in the past. You're just trying to create that feeling over and over and over again. And I mean, it's almost like trying to study for a test and you're just focused on one part of the test. Whereas, I mean, the test is much more than just that one part. So my biggest thing is, don't try to just get into a certain state. The more you try, the further away it'll feel. And so my biggest thing is being open to anything in the present moment and just keep coming back to that mantra. So no expectations, keep coming back over and over and over again. And even when it seems like it's a chore, that's just a distracting thought. That's the most amazing thing to me, is the perception that this is a chore is just another thought, is just another distraction. And so keep coming back to that mantra, and it'll keep reminding you that the present moment has an infinite amount of things to offer to you at this very moment. So keep coming back to it, and don't fixate on any one thing. Just keep flowing with it. Just keep coming back to it over and over again. And I almost call it militant with it. The more disciplined you are to keep coming back to that one mantra, the more effects it will have long term and short term. I mean, even just trying it right now, sitting there, closing your eyes, and just keep coming back to the mantra, there are probably a lot of thoughts swirling, and maybe not, but whenever there are, and you keep coming back to it, the effects are profound, and they'll just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. And that's what I love about it. You'll feel it, a huge intense rush in that first session, or you might not, but a lot of the time that's usually what happens. And then it just keeps growing, that just feeling of presence and just flowing with it. I'm really enjoying it. So I hope you enjoy it too. Don't try too hard, and keep coming back to the mantra. Stay groovy, my friends.